What is up, my folks, my people, my brethren, my sisterin, my they then? Either way, what's up, people? As always, it is your host, What's Up, Riv, coming at you with the 17th episode of the Right From the River podcast. See how fast you can say that. Right From the River podcast. Anyway, super excited to be here with this episode. Yeah, man. We in a good mood right now. We psyched. I'll be honest, I just worked out too. So feeling a nice little energy boost right now. Feeling good, feeling nice and ready to take on whatever's coming at me this evening. It is 7 o'clock right here at this time as I'm recording the podcast, Mountain Standard Time. Not Mountain Standard Time, Mountain Standard Time. But yeah, what's up? How are y'all doing? How's your week been? I just went on a trip last week. I mentioned it in last week's podcast episode. We might talk about that a little bit. But as always, before we get too far into things, we're going to start this off with the great, the amazing, the, at this point, legendary beginning of the bit bong rip. And as we've kept with the trend for the past couple episodes, we're still not smoking out of a bong. We don't have a bong right now, my guys, my gals, my theys, my folks. I like folks. Folks is like a very nice, like, down the middle, like non-gendered way to address a big group of people. But folks, yeah, we're going to be chilling and smoking out of the chillum. So yeah, today we have a little bit of Gelato 41. That is the strain we will be smoking on. Let's see, Gelato. Sorry, I got the bag like right next to the microphone, so I'm sorry if it's crazy. It doesn't have the cross on here. It's all good. It's fine. Gelato 41, I know for a fact it is an indica leaning strain, at least this version that I got. You know, everybody nowadays has their own versions of strains, and it can lean whatever fucking direction they want to put on the sticker, pretty much. Whatever you write that goes on the package, sure, that's what direction the strain leans. Anyway, the gelato that we are going to be smoking today is, yes, an indica leaning strain. I want to say it's a cross between like Sunset Sherbet and I can't remember the other cross in it, but it's not bad. It looks really pretty. The batch that I got is it's a batch of small buds of gelato, and so that's just like essentially it's just a pre-packaged half ounce of the weed. But I don't ever put it in like an airtight fucking jar after I buy my weed, so the shit gets real dry and crispy in there. Obviously, it's still smokable, but it doesn't keep the quality as good as I should. But yeah, that's why I was kind of like, meh, you know, like it's not a bad strain, but it's not the strain's fault. It's my fault for not keeping it in like proper storage conditions. But anyway, let's take a smoke of this right now. Got some gelato. It looks really good. That's what I was trying to lead into, but I got distracted, started rambling. It's like a purple looking strain. You know, obviously the buds are small in this batch, thus the small buds. So nothing too crazy to go off of for like the physiology of the bud, but it still looks good nonetheless. Really nice purple color to it. Has a nice I don't know. It's not gassy. I would say maybe like a little skunky to it, just because it's like, whoo, it's distinguishable. That's a good way to put it. It's a very distinguishable smell where you know it's weed, but you're like, ooh, fuck, like what strain is that? That smells good. So yeah, let's get into it. It's an indica strain. Hopefully it doesn't get me too tired for the podcast, but hey, we're going to be rambling about some bullshit today. So I doubt I'll get tired. I got plenty of fuel for this. Let's get into it. I got my co-star here, Raj, little Raji kitty. He came out from under the bed. He likes hanging out under there sometimes. You know, he's got a little corner underneath the bed. I'm sure he's got his own like little fucking Murphy bed and stuff like that down there now. He's got his own little TV. But no, he likes hanging out under the bed, and he's finally saying hello. He heard beginning of the bit bong rip, and he wanted to witness it. He wanted to see it. So yeah, let me just pull this up real quick. Hold on real sec. 1 sec. Marker, action. Cool. Beginning of the bit bong rip. Let's do it, folks. Cheers. Beautiful. I just like, here, let me, 1 sec, hold up. I just blew that towards my smoke alarm, so let me. That's right, we're doing this live, folks. We're not pausing the podcast for anything. standing right here just fanning on the smoke alarm so it doesn't go off, you know? We don't make mistakes in this life. No, sirree, Bob. We don't make mistakes. We only loot or win or learn. So yeah, sorry about that. I had to wipe away the smoke from the smoke alarm. But it didn't go off. So that's a win right there. And that strain, super tasty. Like, you can definitely taste that skunkiness coming through on it. I like that. It's like real distinct. I'm a fan. I fucks with it. So anyway, yes. I did mention a little bit last week about how I went on vacation with my partner, Brianna. We went out to the lovely San Diego to go see Brianna's cousin get married. It was really nice. It was super beautiful. It was a really nice ceremony. Everybody was dressed to the fucking nines. Everybody looked so good. They were all looking so sharp. Like, people came equipped with like the 3-piece color coordinated suits. They were matching with their partners, their plus ones and shit like that. Everybody just looked really nice. And I felt kind of underdressed, man. I'll be honest. Like, you know, I came with the classic wedding attire. I had like the tucked in fucking dress shirt, and I had like a matching belt and boots, but that was pretty much it. Like, my stuff matched, and that was about my limit, like my threshold of sharpness that I brought to the event. But it was still fun nonetheless. I really enjoyed it. It was nice. Like, the last time I went to San Diego and actually got to see Brianna's family, it was probably like, it was 6 or 7 years ago. It was around the time we first started dating. So it was really cool to see her family and stuff, because like when I first met them too, you know, our relationship was still really new. And so it's nice to, I don't know, it's interesting to see, you know, like 7 years have gone by. Our relationship has matured, and I mean, that's been our relationship, you know, like we've had a relationship in the time between the last time I saw her family. So, you know, it's time. I guess what I'm trying to get at is time flies very quickly, and it's nice to see people who are family. It's nice to see community, especially community that you're a part of, man, because don't get me wrong, man, I like it up here in Denver. It's not bad, but sometimes, man, I feel like it's hard to make connections with people. It is really hard. And I don't even think that's just a Denver thing. That's, in all honesty, it's probably just a river thing. But yeah, man, I feel like it's difficult. Everybody tends to be very apathetic. And I think this just goes, again, beyond just Denver. But everybody nowadays is very apathetic. A lot of people are very like self-driven, which, you know, we got to be self-driven. You got to look out for yourself, like be your number one fan and stuff like that. But I feel like in that pursuit of being self-driven, a lot of people put blinders up to trying to like build a community or being involved in a community or just like build connections with people and stuff. Even if it is like professional or non-professional, you know, like stuff like that. It's connections. It's just, yeah, I feel like it's hard to just like meet chill people here and stuff like that. I gotta be honest, I'm not really being adamant about like being a very social person. So again, it's most likely just a river problem, or most likely at its core, a majority of it is a river problem. Not solely just me, but I'm a big part of it. But yeah, it's like I was just saying, it's always nice being around family because family's always like your first community. Plain and simple. It was really nice, really refreshing to see her family. And it makes me want to see my side of the family too. Again, you know, I'm like, damn. And speaking of that, leading to that, I got to fucking work on Easter, which is coming up this Sunday. So whoop-de-doo, yay, you know, I work every fucking holiday, it seems anyway. I love my job, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to sound ungrateful, but like, I would like to spend a holiday with my family. I don't think that's asking for too much. But anyway, yeah. I forgot where I was going with that. I just like wanted to like bring that up and complain, but I'm like, I mean, I don't really want to beat the dead horse with that. I'm like rumble grumble about the fact that I got to work Easter, but I mean, that's pretty much it with that topic. Like, meh. I got to work Easter. Meh. So anyway, I wanted to, I was talking about the wedding and just kind of wanted to like cover that, you know, so we can move on to the actual subject, the true topic that I wanted to bring up with today's podcast episode, which is a question that a lot of us are always asked, a question that some of us think of way more often than others, but everybody's probably thought of this question before at least once or twice in their life. The big question at hand is, if you could have one superpower, what would it be? It seems at its core a very simple question, not too complex, nothing too hard or crazy to answer. But yeah, I feel like everybody's is different, and whatever superpower you choose, it says a lot about your personality. And it says a lot about who you are. Like maybe just let's look at the movie The Incredibles, for example, how every character's superpower was like essentially based off of the archetype that they were in that family. So like Violet, the daughter, was the awkward teenage girl who didn't want anybody to notice her, so she had like invisibility powers and force fields because she was like not just like, she was like emotionally like closed off and stuff like that too. We got Dash, who's like the hyper active preteen boy in the family, so of course he has super speed. He's quick. He's everywhere at once, it seems, always causing some sort of chaos and never running out of energy. But yeah, I feel like the people's abilities and superpowers would translate to their personality well in real life too, not just in the context of a Disney Pixar movie. But I guess the real question I guess the answer we're looking for right now to start things off with would be like, what would I choose if I could choose a superpower? And that's a good question. That's why we're doing this episode of the podcast. It's a good question. But mine is kind of split, my answer. I have two superpowers that I would either choose from, but one of them I would definitely probably have to go with over the other, like if I'm being completely honest. But the two that always conflict with me, that end up making me think of my decision, is super speed or teleportation. Basically, I want both, like just they're both transportation powers, obvious based, teleportation being able to like create portals where you would be able to travel through, or you could like pull objects through, you could like reach through the portals and things like that. Let's talk about, like, we're talking that kind of teleportation. And super speed, just think the Flash, plain and simple. But yeah, out of those two, I'd always have to go, probably most definitely would be super speed, just because like if you were like the Flash, you could train your super speed up to a level where you can move so fast that it's essentially like you have a form of time control. Like being able to move so quick that everybody around you is slow or they seem stopped or something like that. And like in the same sense as the Flash, he's able to like vibrate his atoms at the same frequency as other solid objects, so he can like match their frequency and pass through them as if he was walking through just regular ass air and stuff like that. So I definitely think that would be really cool to have, because come on, man, that'd be dope as hell. Like being able to move at the speed, like faster than the speed of light. Like I don't even know how that would work scientifically speaking, because to be completely honest, I don't think I really understand the speed of light as it is right now. But I couldn't imagine being able to move faster than that. Like we haven't even like fathomed the ability as a race of being able to move at the speed of light, let alone beyond that. So that would be wild to have a superpower like the Flash. But on the other side of that coin, if we were talking teleportation, we'll bring up that topic back again, being able to open portals where you would be able to travel through, or you could bring objects through, or you could like commune through, kind of thing. Like being able to like open a portal, punch someone through the portal and close that, like that would be interesting too. I feel like teleportation would probably have to take teleportation would take a lot more, like, I feel like it would need a lot more creativity if you're fighting with it and stuff like that, because with super speed, I feel like inherently you would get some super quick reflexes that go along with it. But if you had teleportation, while you do have this advantage of being able to move yourself and others and objects to any place that you wish, you got to be able to think on the spot and be creative with it. Like, let's just say you got an enemy who's running at you, they go to punch you, you got to open up a portal in front of your face and then open up another portal in front of their face, so when they punch at you, they punch through the portal and get themselves in the face, knock themselves out, like, does that make sense? I think it makes sense. I don't know, I'm kind of just, the gelato's kicking in. But yeah, I think teleportation would be cool, but you got to be creative and you got to be quick on your feet, or else I feel like you're pretty fucked, honestly, with it. But yeah, what would y'all choose? Like, that's my question to you. If you could have any superpower, it's only one superpower. Like, you can only choose one. You can't choose like super speed and flight, or mind control and levitation or some shit. Like, you got to choose just one power. But you can still set like some of the parameters for it. And yeah, well, like, explain why. Why would you choose that one? What would you choose? Would it be the ability to communicate with animals? Would you choose something along the lines of the Hulk, where he can like transform into a superhuman, like big old behemoth crazy guy or something like that? You know, like, or maybe as Aquaman, you want to swim super fast. But just let me know. Tell me in the comments, what do you guys think? What superpowers would you choose? And tell me, why the fuck would you do that? Why would you choose that one, man? It makes no goddamn sense without your explanation. No. But I did want to talk about another superpower, one that it didn't really bug me for the longest part of my life. Like, you know, it's just a pretty like harmless answer to the superpower question. But in the past like couple months, I've been thinking about it a lot lately, probably because I smoke a lot of weed. Let's be honest here. But I've thought about the flaws that are involved with the superpower of flight, because like, okay, all right, let's back it up before we just dive headfirst right into it. I don't know. It's contradicting to choose the superpower flight, in my opinion, because like you can't just, I don't know, man. Let me back up a bit. This gelato's kicking in. See, I knew I should have written a script going into this like head first, just bum rushing into this kind of podcast. It doesn't always work that way. It doesn't work well. But yes. See, I lost my train of thought, man. No, it's talking about the flaws of flight. So let's just talk about that in the sense of like, let's break it down. If you're talking about Superman's flight ability, then that makes a lot more sense to me, because Superman also has invulnerability. You know, he's fucking bulletproof. He can survive in space without oxygen and stuff like that. He can shoot lasers from his fucking eyes. He can sneeze and create supersonic sneezes. You know, Superman is very OP. But if we're talking about his flying, that kind of makes sense. But I think about characters like Falcon in Marvel. You know, he's just like a regular dude who was like trained as a pilot, who ended up getting the Falcon suit and stuff like that. Like, you're essentially just a giant bird unless you have invulnerability paired with flying. Like, hear me out. You know, like, if you're just a human with the ability to fly really fast, then like, you're just a giant bird. You're fucking delicate. Humans we're more delicate than we give ourselves credit for. Like, you know, you hear constantly the stereotype of birds flying into a glass window and like, bang, that's it. They're done. Dead. But like, that would essentially happen to humans too, man. We don't have the strongest necks in that sense. We're not meant to survive things head first, hauling ass into our neck and stuff. Like, think about it. If you had the ability to fly, but you didn't have invulnerability as well, then let's just say you're trying to save someone from a burning building. You got to fly up into the window, break through the window to save them. Thunk! You just hit the window. Because you're not invulnerable too. You don't have superhuman strength. You can fly. So you just fly straight into that window. You bust your bird neck. You fucking fall to the ground. You didn't save anybody in that burning building. You know, like, and that's the flaw that I'm talking about. We're very delicate. We're not made for flight. So if we just could fly out of nowhere without any of the evolutionary like benefits of it, we'd be pretty fucked. Like, that's another thing too. Would you be able to withstand the G-forces of flying? Like, if you had the ability to fly? Because what if you're, again, a regular ass human who can somehow fly? I don't know if that means like wings, or you stick your arms out in front of you like Superman and just fly that way. I'm just talking about flight in general. Would you be able to withstand the G-forces of flying? Like, let's say you're flying after an enemy or something. They're in an airplane and they take like a nosedive. You go to chase after them. You hit that dip too hard and those G-forces knock your ass out. So you're just a human being with the ability to fly, but you can't handle the G-force level, you know? So you're flying after your opponent, swoop, and then you just fall to the ground because you knock the fuck out. I mean, we could use a real world example of that. There was I can't remember his name, but there was some alleged flat earther scientist. We'll be respectful of him because he is no longer with us, but fucking flat earthers, am I right? We might lean into that in another podcast. But this dude built a rocket because he wanted to shoot himself high into the air to prove that the earth is flat. Shot himself into the air with the rocket. Like, that shooting up into the air part worked, but he wasn't equipped and he wasn't properly trained on how to withstand the G-forces that are involved with shooting straight up and then falling straight back down like that. And so he ended up passing out, unfortunately, while his ship was flying up, and he was unable to open his parachute. And so he ended up losing his life because he didn't have the proper G-force training. So that's what I'm talking about. If you had the ability to fly and you just had no invulnerability, you weren't like superhuman strong, then you would have to take like some pilot classes, because I mean, even like Air Force cadets and shit like that have to go through classes and like a lot of training before they're put behind like an engine in the sky kind of thing. So I'm just like, I don't know how I feel about the superpower flight. Like I said earlier, though, if we're talking like Superman's flight ability, where you have invulnerability, you can, fucking fly faster than a speeding bullet, that's one thing. But if you could fly faster than the speeding bullet and you had like the soft squishiness of just a regular human, then we'd be fucked, man. We'd be so fucked. What's the good of flying faster than a bullet if you hit a corner of a wall and you're just like creamed? That's it. You're just done. Dunzo. All because you wanted to be faster than a fucking bullet. Well, way to go. You did it. Yeah. Very intense. I know. Very heated. This is a discussion that has haunted me for many moons now, and I've needed to bring it up on the podcast. Because, like, am I wrong, though? Like, I know I'm splitting hairs on the situation and on the subject, but, like, you get where I'm coming from, though, right? Like, you need some form of invulnerability if you want to have your superhuman flight. I said superhuman? If you want to have superhuman flight. God damn, I'm dropping stuff on the coffee table. So unprofessional. That's not how we run this podcast. We're on episode 17. Come on. But nonetheless, we're going to use this moment here to take another smoke break. Let's do it real quick. Cheers, folks. Hooah. See, I'm smart. This time, I didn't blow it near the microphone, and I didn't blow it near the smoke alarm. So, I'd say that's 2 points for River. Oh, man. But yeah, I mean, I was going to talk about something else on the podcast, but that was really what I wanted to cover today. Get into the ins and outs of that, this hot topic debate of mine. And I'm going to be pissed if you guys don't tell me, what superpowers do you have? Do you want? What superpowers do you have? What if I just said that? Like, tell me what superpowers y'all have. And I just, like, unlock this secret underground alliance of fucking superheroes. I don't know, man. This gelato works. It enhances creativity or something like that, man. I feel it. That's all I'm saying. But am I wrong, though? I mean, with, like... No, I don't think I'm wrong with the invulnerability thing, but I'm just, like, looping back around to that again because of the fucking gelato. I was also going to say, like, am I wrong about the gelato? But, like, y'all aren't smoking it. You might be smoking some gelato at home. I hope you are. I hope y'all are smoking on something. If you don't smoke on anything, hey, I respect that too, man. But if you do smoke on something, then I hope you're smoking on it right now. God, these fucking noisy ass cats. I'm sorry. I have 2 cats, and they decided that now is the time that they gotta go fuck around in the litter. This is the time that they gotta scratch their scratching posts. Goofy. That's all I gotta say. Goofy. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really want to wrap this up yet. We got a couple more minutes that we gotta fill, but nothing too crazy has really been happening lately, man. Went to that wedding in San Diego. That was nice. Got to spend some time out there. Oh, that's right. My dumbass spent money on recreational California weed. And I say I'm a dumbass for that because that shit's expensive. That is so fucking expensive, man. Like, it's good quality product. Don't get me wrong. I bought, like, just for reference, I bought these 3.8 gram caviar joints, a clipper lighter, and an all-in-one, I think it was like a 500 mil. I don't even know if it was a full gram disposable vape pen. And that shit all cost me $70. That shit was no fun. Here, one sec, y'all. I apologize. I had to pause that real quick. My cat, he was just messing around in the litter too much. I'm like, my guy, please wrap it up. Let's take care of that. But yeah, back to what I was saying. spent way too much money on that Cali weed. And yeah, it was $70 fucking dollars. That was for the 3 joints, the clipper lighter, and I don't even know if it was a full gram disposable vape. And the first fucking caviar joint, it was like kind of clogged up. I didn't even like really hit that shit until it was like very, very near the end, until it looked like a little like torch. But yeah, I mean, it was still kind of cool to experience it. I feel like there was like a novelty of it where I was like, because I've lived in Colorado like my entire adult life at this point. So it's cool to be able to experience like California's marijuana like industry and shit like that. Because that was another thing too. The last time I went out to visit Brianna's family with Brianna, we didn't have like a car. We didn't have like her. Brianna's dad was driving us around, which we were grateful for and stuff like that. But when he had to go to work, we were kind of like stuck wandering around the vicinity of his home. So this time we actually had a rental car that we could use. And that was really nice because then we were able to drive a bit distance out and go check out one of the weed joints, because the closest ones to his place were like 10, 12 miles away. So definitely not walking distance there. So it was still cool. It was fun to be able to experience that. Like, don't get me wrong. That was chill. I didn't like spending $70 fucking dollars on it. That's definitely not gonna be something I do again, money wise. But it's still cool. It was cool to be able to try out like California brands. I don't even remember the name of the products I got. I took pictures of them though, so I'll have to post them on the social meds page. But the social meds page. I'm going to start saying that way more often now. Yeah, dude, check out the social meds. Got the links down below for the social meds. See what I mean, though? This gelato, man, it gets you so creative. You start coming up with new buzz terms. But yeah, like I said, it was cool to try out California brands. I work in the weed industry, so in Colorado. So it's cool to see what they're doing out there. What y'all doing? Because I work Colorado medical. So to see California rec, it was very different viewpoint on things. But yeah, we're almost hitting that 28-minute mark. So I think we're going to start wrapping up for this episode of the podcast. Just really wanted to bring up that heavy-ass debate of what superpowers we would choose and a little bit of a review, or just like, I guess, a roundabout on my trip to San Diego. It was only 3 days, but hey, man, it was really nice. It was cool getting out of the city for a minute. And our kitty cats did good with the boarding, too. I'm sure y'all were concerned about that, but don't be, because our kitty cats did good. They steady vibed. As soon as they saw us come pick them up from the boarding center, they were like, oh, fuck yeah, we're going back home. Excuse me. Gross. I might have to cut that. Yeah, once they got in the car, we put them in the car, and we started driving back home. They knew exactly what was up, and our cats chilled the fuck out again. And they're back to their relaxed, spoiled selves to this day, so we're happy for them. We love them. But nonetheless, like I was saying, as always, it is your host, What's Up, Riv, coming at you with the 17th episode of the Right From the River podcast. Have a great week, y'all. Be careful out there. I love it. I love y'all tuning in for the episodes. I appreciate the hell out of that. But I'll catch you next episode. Have a great one. Peace.